Alright, what's up everybody? As you can see, I'm in my car. And, I kind of planned to do this video slightly differently. But I don't know, I just never find the time to be able to do anything anymore. I might not even edit this. I might try to add some edits to help support what I'm talking about. But I wanted to make this video, so I'm just going to make it now, driving home from work. So what we're going to be talking about is the difference, benefits and the cons, pros and cons of a gas car versus an electric car, if you should buy an electric car. And if you're interested in buying an electric car, I'm going to go ahead and put my Tesla referral code in the description of the video. Because if you do buy an electric car, I think you should probably buy a Tesla. I'm sure there's other good options out there. But at least at the time when I was buying a car, Tesla was like the way to go for sure. Like there was not really any other good options. First thing, I guess, the most obvious, we'll go for the most obvious to the most convoluted, I guess, is an electric car uses electricity. Gas car uses gas. No matter what, even gas burned into electricity, what yada yada yada, it's more efficient than a gas car, and a gas car, obviously gas is more expensive, at least everywhere actually. Yeah, it's just more expensive. It's flat out more expensive, and there's a reason for it. Probably is because gasoline is less efficient than electricity. So that's the first pro. No matter what, worst case scenario, you pay for 100% of your charging. Even if you're like supercharging, I'm sure you would be saving money, especially because they don't always charge the same for supercharging. They make it more expensive in the middle of the day and less expensive at night. And at home too is usually cheaper. A lot of times they have like peak hours, off peak hours, which you can save even more. But even I think worst case scenario, I'm pretty sure it's more efficient. That's one thing. EVs right now have a lot of free charging options. Like I charge at work. I don't pay for any charging. So if you're in the right situation, you could potentially end up paying nothing for charging. It's always convenient, even if you have an option like that. It is always convenient to be able to charge at home, because sometimes you don't know if like you'll be out for a little bit, you get hurt, so you got to work for a couple weeks. You get sick, so you got to work for a little bit. They just don't have you come in, so you're off for a little bit. Who knows? So it's always good to be able to charge at home if you need to. But there's free charging options out there. You never get free gas. You're always paying for gas no matter what. Some stores have like charging like for a couple hours outside the stores and stuff. There's ways to get free charging. Like I have a tournament I go to. It's right next to a casino, so there's a parking garage, like 5-minute walk from the casino, and boom, 4-hour charging there. I go there. I basically fill up my whole tank, where usually I would be kind of like below after taking that trip, because it's like 30 minutes away. But boom, I don't even have to worry about my battery. So those are some of the benefits at the moment anyway, 2023, of having electric cars. There is free charging options. I will say sometimes they get taken away. There's one store locally near me that had free charging, and they charge now. So that's always a possibility too. So you always want to. That's why I think it's important to have update videos, even if it's always not as well edited as it could be, of what it's like right now. Should I buy a car right now? And you know what it's like from now to a few months from now, because sometimes things change. So that's a pro, I guess, of an electric car. I'll say a pro for the gas cars. I will say, if you don't have a place to charge at home and you don't charge at work, I think if you were just to supercharge, and sorry if it's a little dark, actually, let me see if I can, that actually helps a little bit. I'm going to keep that on. Sorry, I'm recording at night, I get off at work at night. But, if you have nowhere to charge at home, nowhere to charge at work, I don't think, although possible, I suppose, I think it would be more inconvenient to be supercharging all the time, or just using the level 2 chargers all the time, because even if you're supercharging, it takes, let's say, an hour. It might take a little bit less. It might take, I don't think it takes more than that, but let's say an hour from 0 to 100. You usually would probably leave before you get to 100 because it gets slower the more full the battery is. But you'd be taking 40 minutes versus a normal car you fill up in 5 minutes. So there is still a marketplace, I think, for gas cars, and I think it's kind of crazy. The government trying to, I think it's like 2030 or 2035, they want everything to be electric. I think that's kind of crazy because some people, they're just not in a position where it's convenient, Some people live in apartments. Some people, they don't have a place to plug in. And if you don't have a place to plug in, dang, that's like way worse. For poor people, that sucks. Like, when you're really, really poor and you just happen not to work somewhere that has it, like, that's trash. Like, you have to, now all of a sudden, poor people get pushed into a whole new bracket of trashness, I guess, because now all of a sudden, in order to travel, in order to refuel, you have to always, 100% of the time, spend like 40 minutes. It could be less, I guess. You could always have a lower battery, but you're actually taking a little bit more time, which realistically does affect your ability to do things. If you have to be busy, have to make appointments, do this, do that, you're trying to make things work, it can get in the way. That being said, it definitely doesn't get in the way. It doesn't get in the way. It's convenient for me because I charge at work, and I'll occasionally charge if I happen to be at shopping centers and stuff, or at that tournament. I'll charge there. I've never wasted time. I've only saved time having this car because I only charge at home. I don't charge at home, but I'll only charge at work. I'm always leaving work with a full tank. So unless I do so much stuff before I go back to work, which is uncommon because I'm poor, I need money, I gotta go work, you end up saving time. So those are the surface level things, electric. Something good about electric cars, something good about gas cars. Gas cars, definitely, if you don't have a home base to charge, or a work base to charge, if you don't have a base to charge regularly, I think you stick with a gas car. Also, let's say you already have a 2020 Honda Civic, 2022 Honda Civic, or something akin to that. A lot of cars nowadays, they have the same autopilot feature, at least a Tesla has. They have a lane keeping, cruise controlling, traffic aware cruise control feature. A lot of cars have that. So if you already have one, and or you're thinking, the reason why I want an electric car is because the Tesla has autopilot. Other gas cars are catching up. They still don't have the full self-driving, but they charge $15,000 for that, so I'm gonna completely disregard that. But that's outside of our price point. So most gas cars have mostly the same features as let's say Tesla electric car. So that's not really I think a buying point. And if you already have a gas car and it works, I don't think you should switch. I think you should just stay as stay gas. No reason to switch. If you have a perfectly functioning gas car, or if you can't buy in to the electric car too, then obviously you shouldn't buy one because they are slightly more expensive. If you can, and you're like me where you can charge at work, it actually is worth it because over time you're going to save the money through not paying for gas. But if you can't buy in, or you're not in a situation where you can charge regularly, stick with the gas car. There's no reason not to. And if you have a perfectly functioning gas car, it's probably not worth the difference on you buying right now. I will say, my car, if you're in a situation like I was, where I had a 2002 Honda Accord, she was breaking down, she was like, something would go wrong every 6 months. That happens with a mechanical car. Stuff breaks down, you're gonna have to fix the idle airflow valve, the alternator needs replacing, the battery needs replacing. The battery's always gonna need to be replaced every couple of years. The the window motor brakes or whatever. Stuff. There's other stuff too that have gone wrong with it, but the stuff goes wrong with cars, right? There's a lot of parts that can go wrong. Power steering, I think, went wrong. Sometimes the tube, I had to get that replaced. Stuff goes wrong. So, and it leaked a bunch of oil. And to get the oil leaks repaired, it would have been probably $1,000 at least, maybe slightly under $1,000. And the transmission though was giving problems. A car like mine, it's more worth it because I was already spending a lot on gas. It was an Accord 2002. It was V6, so slightly less fuel efficient. I was already spending a decent amount of gas. Like I was probably spending like $150 a week on gas. $5 a gallon. I was spending $150 a week on gas. I was probably spending like $40 a month or so, maybe more actually, maybe slightly less. Putting oil in because the oil was leaking. And every time something would happen, I think the spark plug and the spark plug coils had to be replaced. That was extra money. All these repairs where you have to take it in. Ever since I got this car, I haven't had to worry about anything. I will say, a gas car, I don't think you have to worry about a lot of those repairs until a couple of years in. But supposedly this car, electric cars, usually there's not any repairs, major repairs needed, and regular maintenance needed, other than tires, which I also had to get my tires replaced in the other car too. So, yeah, that's definitely a thing. That's also something. The tires are supposed to wear faster on the electric cars, and I have noticed that, but I don't think it's that huge of a deal. And I don't know. I can't tell how much more it wears, because when I had my gas car, I didn't have to drive as far for work, so I have to drive further now for work. So, I see my tires wearing faster, but I'm also driving twice, if not more, as far. So, it's hard for me to tell. But the tires definitely do wear down. But it could be similar pace. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's because of the weight or if it's because of the acceleration. I don't know, but that's something to keep note of. They're supposed to wear faster. But if you have a brand new gas car, it's probably not worth. Stuff breaks down, but if you have an old car like mine, my car, it's like a money sink. You're always having to pay to repair and stuff. Electric car now, I'm not even paying for gas. I never get in my car and worry, will this run? And it was a Honda Accord, but sometimes those parts, they just kind of fail. So in this car, I just get in. I'm not worried. I just drive. And I've never seen a Tesla broken down on the side of the road. From the videos I watch are very scary, so they're actually being a big problem with the car. So it's definitely a nice car. I know some electric cars are like, I know the Chevy Bull had a lot of battery problems, so you definitely want to do your research. But from the research I did on Tesla, it's pretty good. I know I haven't covered a lot of points. I know I'm kind of just rambling, but those are some differences. I think it's just good to talk about it, make a video. I know it's not as well edited and stuff as I'd like. Hopefully the audio is good, but I'm just kind of making a video real quick because I want to keep posting videos. I'm trying to hit that 500 subscriber goal. By the way, if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe, comment, help with the algorithm, like, dislike, anything, engage. I'm out of thoughts actually, but I hope I gave good insight though, because I am coming from experience. I think there's value to be had here. There are times to buy an electric car. I don't think that's that time is for everybody. There's also the incentives that didn't exist when I bought the car, but the federal tax credit, that determines on your tax liability. If you do get the full credit, because it's based off tax liability. So if you don't owe taxes and you buy an electric car, you have to pay full price. If you have tax liability, it's up to $7,500. And there's also limits to it. Maybe I'll throw it on screen if I remember. Just you can pause it and see what you want to, if you even qualify. the tax liability thing, you kind of just have to know: am I gonna owe $7,500 in tax, or have $7,500 tax liability based on how much I make, or whatever state I'm in? And there's also like a $2,000 incentive in California. I'm not sure how you qualify for that, but point is, those are things to consider. But it's also if you're in the market for a new car. You know, if all you can afford is a $1,000 used beat up car, then obviously you shouldn't be buying an electric car because they're more expensive. If you're in the market, the dots line up correctly, you know, you charge at work or something, you charge at home and you still with your parents, I think it's definitely a good option. I'm definitely happy with I bought it when it was $6,000 more than it is right now. And I got it completely schemazed. And I'm still happy. You know, I actually am still happy with the purchase. It's made a lot less stress in my life. You know, I charge at work. I'm never going to gas stations, so I don't have to deal with that ghetto-ness. I'm never worried about my car driving me somewhere, so I can just drive. Since I charge at work, I can go to like Smash tournaments on my weekend, and I'm not even worried about the gas I'm using because I don't use the gas. So it's just the wear and tear on the car, but there's always some sort of cost of doing business, but I've minimized it as much as I can. So if the stars line up, I think it's definitely, I'm happy with it. But it's definitely not for everybody. You know, if you are charging at home and you own your home and you're paying for 100% electricity, it's still cheaper, but to offset the cost of the car, maybe with all the incentives, it would still be worth it. But to offset the cost of the car, if you're paying 100% electricity, you know, I think, I don't know the exact math, but I'm pretty sure it's safe bet I would say it's 50% of the price of gas where you live. Might be slightly different. I'm not sure. I'm spitballing it based off what I've seen. But it's definitely nice if you have free charging. But I'm just rambling at this point. I'm just going to end the video here. I know this is a big mess of video. First time I've tried driving in the video. I know the lighting's bad because it's nighttime, but I'm going to end it here. Peace out, guys. Sorry for rambling. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope somebody found some value. Again, referral code for buying a Tesla. In the description, use it. I get a bonus. You get a bonus. I think right now it's like a $500 or $1,000 off depending on the car you buy, and 3 months of free full self-driving, and then I get like 10,000 referral points, which doesn't mean much to you guys, but it's like a couple hundred. It's like, I think that's like a couple thousand free supercharge miles. So benefits me, benefits you guys. You got a deal. Peace out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for the crazy video, but I'm a busy man, so